What an idiot! Damn, never mind. Pink fur. Let's have a look, see what we got. What is going on, guys? It's been a hell of a week. No, it's been a hell of a month, let's be honest. We lost Otis on Monday. One of the most traumatic things me and Kelly have ever been through together. We was there till the end. We was there for Otis's last breath, which in a way was nice because it was kind of closure to his pain. You know, he was in a lot of pain. He was on a lot of medication as well. And Kelly, bless her, she looked after him, you know, right the way till the end, to the point where the tumour in his mouth was just constantly bleeding. And when we phoned the vet, they just said, like, that's normal, you know, you still got a week or two with him. So yeah, Kelly was up all hours of the night giving him his medication, you know, via an alarm she'd set on her phone, you know, 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 6 o'clock, constantly mopping up blood from the kitchen floor. She looked after him so well until the end. I mean, I done my bit obviously, but Kelly, she next level. She was so good. She had Otis for a few months before I actually met Kelly, and then Otis came to live with us in the very beginning, and we had him for 10.5 years. So yeah, it's can't talk about it too much because it's still quite raw, but yeah, your messages and your comments have just been so nice and so positive. Can't talk about it, man. Can't talk about it. Thank you all so much for the messages and the comments. He's out of pain, so yeah, rest in peace, buddy. Love you so much. Amazing dog, he really was. I promised Kelly that I weren't going to rant, so we're going to open this jar and then I'm going to say what I want to say, and then we're going to put the lid on it and we're going to get on with the video, because the last few weeks have just been so stressful that I need to put a lid on it, because like I said, I promised that I weren't going to rant. So there's been ongoing issues with my immediate next door neighbours that don't like me as a result of, there was a lot of domestic violence going on in that house in regards to a guy beating up a woman, and it was triggering my PTSD from when I was a child, witnessing that sort of thing firsthand. So yeah, since then, since I knocked on the door and asked if she was okay, and she slammed the door in my face, and it went on and on and on. And then I actually phoned the police to get them to intervene before they killed each other. Since then, they absolutely hate me. I think they want to see me dead. So yeah, they've just been antagonising the hell out of our lives basically for the past 2 years. Everything from being, you know, petty stuff, overly loud, slamming the door, waking us up all hours, screaming, fighting, just the usual sort of bad neighbours that, you know, the usual things that bad neighbours do. So yeah, it got to a point where, you know, this guy was getting more and more confident and more cocky, shall we say, and he started parking his car so close to my car that he was hitting it, bearing in mind he had nobody behind him. There's also a shared access gate, which is what I use to get my lawnmower in and out the back garden, because since, you know, a lot of thefts has been happening on the road, I choose not to leave anything in the garden. So yeah, he took it upon himself to put locks on the gate and give the neighbours keys, but not me, so I couldn't get in. So I phoned the landlord and I basically just said, look, the guy's put locks on a shared access gate. Can he do that? Is he allowed to do that? And am I permitted a key? The answer was no, he's not allowed to do that. No one owns the gate. It's a shared access gate. He's to remove the locks. But they didn't, you know, pursue it. They just left it. So my garden was getting overgrown, you know, to the point where my other neighbour, you know, was saying that it's getting a bit long. You know, Otis is, you know, struggling in and out the long grass. Kelly can't hang the washing out because it's, you know, over knee high. So yeah, I couldn't bring it through the house because it's just far too big. We live in, you know, quite a small old house, so the doorways and the door frames are really small. It just wouldn't fit. So I phoned the landlord and I said, you know, there's still locks on the gate and I need to get in and cut the grass, because as you guys have told me, it's in the tenancy agreement that I must maintain that garden or I'm in breach. So they said, yeah, absolutely fine. You do have right of way, you know, use the gate. So I went and had a look. There's, you know, locks and padlocks all over this gate, just primarily to keep me out, just to let my garden go to crap basically. So yeah, I had permission to use the gate. I got my drill. I took the locks off. That's when I actually slipped. In a video I had a big plaster on. I slipped with a drill, got a bit of rust and a bit of something in it, and it got really infected. It took 2 weeks for it to go down. The doctor was worried it was going to be some kind of infection within the cavity in your knuckle, which he said could lead to amputation of a finger, which, you know, was really scary at the time. So yeah, you know, it's one of them. So anyway, I thought no more of it. You know, it's a shared access gate, whatever. If you want to keep parking your car so close to mine, you know, I've complained to the police before when he actually caused damage to our car. They weren't interested one bit. I've complained about the noise and the domestic violence to the police and the council, and the council said it's just household noise, get used to it. And the police have said, you know, with knocks, no one's in, you know, it's the end of it. So no one really wanted to get involved, and no one wanted to help. So me and Kelly have been living next to a couple that have been trying to make our lives a living hell, basically. They're doing everything within their power to cause us problems. Now, on the week before we lost Otis, the guy decided to park his car so close to our car that he hit it again, and he left it there. He left it touching. Bearing in mind there was nobody behind him in that road. You know, you've got maybe 40, 50, 60 feet even of space, so there's absolutely no call for parking so close to my car that you're touching it. And secondly to that, he went out and he put brand new locks on the gate, again gave the neighbour a key and completely ignored me. So I then knocked on the door, you know, saying I'm not having this. He's been antagonising me for years. It's been over 2 years now. You know, he's pressing my buttons. Anyway, I knocked on the door, he didn't answer. So I thought, hang on a minute, if Otis deteriorates in the night, and I said to Kelly, we ain't going to be able to get that car out of that space. It's not possible, you know. It's nothing to do with driving ability, it's to do with physics. There's not enough room, you know, to get out. And secondly to that, I did need to cut the grass that week as well. So I spoke to the landlord. They then sent me over land registry documents to say, you know, we don't really want to get involved. This is your proof that you have access to use that gate. So I was like, great stuff, I'll use the gate. So remove the locks as I did before, put the locks down on the floor, you know, if he wants to, you know, do what you want with them, sort of thing. Put the locks on the floor, came through the gate, cut my grass, went out and pushed his car off of mine. It's that simple. You'd think so, wouldn't you? No. Police, you know, everywhere, looking for me. Arrest warrant, a warrant out for my arrest for criminal damage against a set of locks that should never have been on the gate, and criminal damage against a vehicle that I rammed or crashed into. Or I took photos basically before I moved it and after, just to demonstrate that I, you know, very gently touched it, because it should never have been on my car. Anyway, the police are taking it really seriously. They're talking about potentially me ended up in court, right on top of losing the dog. You know, these people are laughing and joking all weekend and telling the police that I'm destroying their lives, I'm making their lives a living hell. You couldn't make it up, or you could actually, because they are. So I've now got to put everything on hold, i.e. the emotions and feelings that I've got, you know, in regards to losing our dog of over 10 years. The fact that we're in the middle of packing up our house that we've lived in for nearly 10 years, with the intention of getting out of that area and getting away from them, because they're having a humongous impact on my mental state at the moment. I'm currently in talks with like a crisis team. For those of you that might not know what that is, it's basically like a team of people that intervene when you're feeling, you know, as low as I do. So yeah, I'm hoping that they can do something for me. They were supposed to call me within 24 hours. It's been 3 days. I've been through the mental health system, you know, numerous times, and it's not very good. Anyone that's, you know, suffered with mental health, in my case, it's an umbrella of things, you know, post-traumatic stress disorder, severe depression, severe OCD, borderline personality disorder, you know, the list goes on and on and on. There's not a lot they can do for you, but in regards to getting something to sort of maybe calm me or slow me down or something, you know, there's sedatives, there's antipsychotics, antidepressants, things like that. I feel like I need something. I did actually see a doctor about 4 days ago who couldn't really give me anything. He said, you know, it was down to the mental health team to sort of support me. But like I say, they're yet to get in contact. So yeah, it's a living hell at the moment, guys. A living hell. So we're looking to move. We are going to keep the allotment plots no matter where we end up. I've decided, you know, I drive, it doesn't really matter. I love growing. This is an escape from reality for me. So yeah, what we're going to do today is, firstly, we're going to put the lid on this jar and we're going to put that to bed, because I haven't actually got arrested yet. My official arrest date is 2:30 on Monday morning. Today is Saturday, so yeah, we'll see how we go. I might be vlogging from the cells, who knows. So yeah, we're going to put the lid on that. because I did promise I wasn't going to rant, and that I want to do my videos. I basically just want to do what I normally do and try and pretend that none of this is going on, and that, you know, life ain't actually that stressful. So yeah, what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be turning out some potatoes, some of the containers. We did actually make a video looking at some potatoes. Yeah, how noisy them hens are. They're the bantams. They're the noisiest hens we've got out of 8. Yeah, we're going to be turning out some potatoes. We did turn some out, and we did actually turn some potatoes out on camera. It was a few days after we lost Otis, so it weren't really the right time. We just came up here for a little bit of quiet time, really, just so me and Kelly could have a chat about things and, you know, our future and, you know, moving, just mainly to get away from these people and to start fresh, because, you know, it does have an impact on your life. But we did actually get quite a few potatoes. They weren't the ones that I included in the, you know, cheap versus dear. Not that they were dear, they were £1 seed potatoes versus £3 for those that haven't seen the video. And yeah, we got quite a large crop, I'll be honest, but the video was just no good, really, so I didn't use the footage. So instead we're going to do a proper video. We're going to set the tripod up. I say tripod, I've got some sellotape somewhere, tape the phone to something, and yeah, we'll turn some out and we'll basically compare and see what we've got. So it should be a fun video, guys. Let's get into it. If there's any wind noise, I can only apologise. It is a bit of a windy day, but yeah, we're going to get straight into these 2 30-litre pots, which have definitely come to an end now. And on here we've got the Charlotte, £1, and the Charlotte, £3. So I think we'll start with the dearer side first, just because we might get a surprise if the cheaper ones turn out to be quite good. So we'll turn these out and we'll just see what we got, if anything. They look quite small, but there are indeed potatoes in here. So I'll break this apart and we'll see what we've got. Won't use that. We've had a lot of rain here recently, so this is quite damp. Ordinarily I'd let this dry out a little bit before I harvest, but we'll leave these out for a few seconds just on here to dry. I'll break this apart. Oh wow, oh wow, okie dokie. It's looking good. We will put them back in there for now. So I am taking out the tiny little potatoes as well, because I do indeed intend on using this compost again in the future, and anything, you know, potato wise, you know, be it pea size, will still produce a new plant. And if you've got potatoes growing where you don't want potatoes growing, it can quite easily turn into a nightmare. So yeah, we're going to get them all. There's one of the seed potatoes. There's quite a few. I did indeed feed these with bromide granules, liquid seaweed, not too much of that because I didn't want it to be too acidic from the seaweed anyway. You know, that seaweed stuff is very strong, so yeah, a tiny amount of that, and I think that was it really. Yeah, so what I'll do is I'll get rid of this compost, just put it to one side for now, and then we'll come back and we'll see what we've got. This is what we've got from the £3 seed potato, or the seed potatoes. It's not too bad. I mean, they'll be quite nice eating, honestly. These are the largest of them. These are the largest 3, but not too bad at all. Just have a little look in there. It's not too bad. It's a sack of potatoes. We'll put this to one side now, and we'll get the other one out. Tip the other one out, and we'll see. I need to sort these hens out. I just absolutely love exploring. What are you betting? What do you think? Do you think these are going to do as well? Do you think they're going to do better? My guess is going to be that they're going to be on par with each other. Size and quality is going to be the same, but we'll see. Let's turn this one out. Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. Oh wow. This was the cheap side. It was the cheap side already. Quite a large potato. Bigger than any that came out the other one. So I know it's not all about size. This is good, this is exciting, man. Some of these are quite small, I'll be honest. Apart from the first one, they're all quite small, but we'll see what we get at the end. If I'm being honest, there's not a lot in it at all. Now I'm looking at the £3 size. They're quite small as well, you know, in comparison. There's nothing in it, guys. There's nothing in it. So where was that big one? This is the biggest one from the £1 side, and this is the biggest one from the £3 side. So I'd say they were pretty even in numbers and in weight. I'm quite impressed with that. Right, I'm not done. We're going to go and get another couple of buckets, a different variety this time. You know, both are firm, both are edible, and the numbers are almost identical. So far, that's a win. Not that this is a test telling you what ones you should buy, but if you're on a really tight budget and you want to start out on an allotment and you want to start out growing lots and lots and lots of potatoes, well, the pound shop ones do work. So they are Lauren Evans. Now for this one, we've got King Edward, and these were put in on the 20th of March. Now these are the £1 sides. We're going to start with this side first, and then we're going to tip them out and we're going to see how they do fared against the dearest seed. That's a drier one. Way, very nice. Let's have a look. So these are a much more usable size. And again, we'll just go straight into the bucket, and we'll tally up at the end and see what one's the best. There's a few on here. This is good. Again, there's quite a few small ones, but you know, boiled, absolutely fine. There's a couple of green ones where, as it's grown, they've pushed their way to the surface. Now they definitely need to go in the bin because they're not actually edible, poisonous. So but we'll sort through them later. At the moment, it's just about, you know, comparing. See if we can get rid of this. Put that to one side and get rid of this. Okay. Wow, okie doke. Oh, there's a few holes in these ones. You can see something's bored in. We'll sort them out. We'll sort through them later on. Something's been eating them. Never mind. Now I've read that wrong, or someone's changed my labels around, because these do not look like King Edward. They just don't look like King Edward. No, they're not. As you can see, they're completely different. I'm not quite sure what happened there, I'll be honest. Both were labelled. So guys, I think someone might have been playing around with my labels. I'm not 100% sure. These are pink fir apple. I know that because I taped this on and the tape hasn't actually been removed, but these were labelled King Edward. So yeah, I'm not sure what's going on there, but these are definitely pink fir because the label hasn't moved. So I did actually change 2 containers around when we had the ant problem, but all I did for that was, oh, I know what I've done. I know what I've done. When I swapped the ant nests among the containers, because you guys, I was looking for an organic way of getting rid of ants, and you guys came up with loads of suggestions, but the most common one was split the groups of ants and share them among other groups and they'll fight to the death. So I thought, well, that sounds, you know, like that's something that could work. So I done that, and I think I haven't followed through with all the labels. Now I only done that in 2 containers just to see if it would work before I then went and did it all. So yeah, I think the last 2 containers were the ones that I didn't swap the labels, because the labels, or the tags even, come with the plant, you know, but obviously I've been sticking that on there as well, and obviously forgot about it. So yeah, that was completely my fault. I do apologise for that. Luckily, I only done it with 2, so all the seed potatoes going forward that I turn out will be, you know, what's on the label or the tag. So what an idiot. Damn, never mind. Pink fir. Let's have a look, see what we got. Oh, that's tight. Ah, that's very tight. Wow, okie dokie, this is good. This is good. We do actually have some little knobbly pink fir potatoes in this container. Wow, there's loads. Wow, this is what they look like. Sometimes you can get 2 joined together and they kind of come out looking like that. They are absolutely delicious, just boiled, salt, pepper, a little bit of butter if you want. I use olive oil. Absolutely delicious potatoes, these are. There's a lot here, guys. I think I'm going to have to come back once they're all out, because there's just so many in here. So yeah, I'll join you in a sec. Okay, so quite interestingly, there was no potatoes on the 3rd portion of the container, bearing in mind that I put these at the very bottom. So, you know, I did think that these little seed potatoes might not get around the whole container. So what I done was I also planted the same amount of seed potatoes, I think it was 2, in a container. I think these are 30 litre, and the container that I used was maybe a 10, just to see if you could get the same yield from a smaller container, just to prove the point that you don't need a big garden to grow food, really. So I'll finish getting all of these out, and then we'll get the other one, the little container, and we'll just compare, and we'll see if we've got a similar sort of crop for a container half the size, because half of this is just untouched compost. Interesting. And that's what we got. There's loads in there, absolutely loads. Chuffed to bits. Right, let's get rid of this. This is the container. So this is the pink fir in a 30 litre, and this is it in a 10. So we'll just basically see what kind of yields we can get from a 10 litre pot. So many bugs. And again, look, there's no, if you can see this, there's no potatoes in the bottom part of the compost where I actually put the seed potatoes. But wow, these are much bigger. Hello, girl. These are much bigger. Check these out. Wow. Now these were all fed the same and cared for the same. These are huge, guys. Wow, I wonder what happened there. These are huge. Wow. And that really was a limited space for 2 seed potatoes, honestly. And these are big. Wow. Wow. These are awesome. Oh, these are much more usable. Much more usable. I mean, all the potatoes that we've got here are usable, but you know, for convenience in the kitchen, these are ideal size-wise. Not as many, but much larger. I think that's it. I think that's all she wrote. Oh, one more there. There we go, guys. Check this out. Look at the size of some of these. These are really usable. Really usable. Much bigger than these ones. Much more developed. Wow. And they do have like a pink sort of tinge to them, pink fur. They are delicious, absolutely delicious. I'm quite impressed with that. As a comparison, you know, you definitely got more in the larger pot, but you know, if you're going for quality, the smaller pot, you know, they're really nice and firm as well. Yeah, the smaller pot is ideal. I mean, there's quite a few this size in the larger one, and there doesn't seem to be any that size really in this one. They're all quite large. So, well, overall, I'm genuinely quite impressed with all of these seed potatoes. Even though I did have a little bit of a mix up, we have still got, you know, the same variety to test again. But yeah, that's all I'm gonna turn out today, guys, because like I said, we're gonna have too many, and we've got to think about storage as well. So yeah, we'll get through these and then we'll do another tip out. We've got the Desiree, as some people call it in the comments. We've got quite a few of them actually to turn out. I don't know why I ended up with more seed potatoes of that variety than any other, but we did. So yeah, let me line these all out and I'll pan the camera over the top so you guys can have a look. But overall, impressive stuff and tons of food. For storing seed potatoes, what I like to do is, sometimes if you go to a bakery, you'll find that they use these trays. They're normally blue, and they use them to cart bread and things like that about. They normally give you them for free, and there's holes throughout the whole thing, so there's a lot of air that can flow through basically. So they're absolutely ideal. So what I do is I get a few of those, I tip the potatoes in on top of newspaper, and then I just start layering. So a few potatoes, newspaper, a few more potatoes, newspaper, and so on. And yeah, I mean, sheltered from the light, they do store quite well. Any that have touched the light, like these 3 here that I can see, that have gone a bit green, they'll go straight in the bin. I won't be using those. And then it's just basically a visual inspection. As boring as that sounds, I quite enjoy it. A visual inspection to make sure that there's no sort of bore holes from any insects or worms or anything really. Because the last thing you want is to sort of bring these home to your good woman to find out that she's in the kitchen screaming because there's maggots or something climbing out of them, you know. Not that she would, but yeah, it hasn't happened yet because of these inspections. Yeah, just an overall look really. Don't wash them. I don't wash them, I'm not telling you what to do, but yeah, I found that by washing them you weaken the enzymes that are on the skin. There's less of them, it doesn't really firm up and it doesn't store very well. Where's them green ones? You can, with fresh potatoes, normally just peel them just with your finger or your thumb, because they're so fresh, you know, the skin is so so thin. So yeah, I mean, what I like to do is just leave them here for a little while to dry out, really, with something over the top preferably, just to stop the sunlight hitting them, stop them turning green. But what I'm gonna do in this instance is basically just run them through a sieve, or just shake these really, get a lot of the compost that's on them out, tip them all into one, and then bring it home for Kelly so we can actually make use of them. So yeah, first potato reveal of the year. Quite impressed, I'll be honest, I'm quite impressed. This is my first year ever growing potatoes solely in containers. I've never done it before. And yeah, I mean, yield wise it's quite good. Bugs, we did have a problem with ants, and a few of these do have boreholes in. Never mind, grow enough for you and grow enough for everything else, that's what I say. So there's plenty of food here, more than enough. And yeah, combine this with the eggs, and it's eggs and chips for dinner. Thank you very much for watching. Don't know when the next vlog's going to be. I'll probably update you guys on the Monday. Might go live or do a Facebook feed or something. There's a lot of people on here that are on Facebook but are not on Digging for Dinner on Facebook. If you just head over, I do post, you know, quite regularly, as regularly as I can on there. There's a lot of comments, guys, on there, and I do apologise to everybody who I didn't reply to. I know a lot of you guys message me and you say there's no need to reply and things like that. I try my absolute best, as does Kelly, to reply to every single one of you. We do read every single comment that we get. So yeah, if you're on Facebook, head over to Digging for Dinner on Facebook and just give it a like. And yeah, if you're watching this and you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, please subscribe. It really helps me out. And yeah, that's the first potato reveal of the year. So yeah, before I waffle on, I think we'll end it there. Thank you guys. I'm gonna now go and enjoy some chips and eggs.